Welcome to our video. Today we will be talking about Japanese culture shocks. Japan is often considered one of the most unique and fascinating countries in the world. From its rich history, unique traditions, and technological advancements, Japan is a destination that attracts people from all over the world. However, living and working in Japan can come with its own set of challenges, especially for those who are not familiar with the culture. Today, we're going to explore what it's like to experience cultural shock in Japan. The culture gap. One of the biggest challenges that people face when living in Japan is the culture gap. Japan has its own unique cultural norms and practices, which can be quite different from what people are used to in their home countries. For example, bowing is a common form of greeting in Japan, and it's considered rude to not bow when meeting someone for the first time. In addition, the Japanese are known for their politeness and attention to detail, which can make it difficult for people to understand what is expected of them in certain situations. Language barriers. Another challenge that people often face in Japan is the language barrier. While many people in Japan speak English, it's not a guarantee. And many of those who do speak English may not be comfortable using it in everyday conversation. This can make it difficult to communicate with others and make connections in the local community. Homesickness. Moving to a new country can be a lonely experience, and Japan is no exception. For many people, being away from friends and family can be difficult, and they may find themselves feeling homesick. This can be especially challenging in a country where they may not be familiar with the language or culture, making it difficult to make new connections. Coping with culture shock. While living in Japan can be challenging, there are ways to cope with the culture shock. One of the best ways is to immerse yourself in the local culture and learn as much as you can about the country. This can include taking language classes, trying new foods, and attending cultural events. It's also important to connect with others, whether it's through joining a local club or organization, or simply reaching out to people you meet in your day-to-day life. Understanding Japanese work culture. Japan has a unique work culture, which can be quite different from what people are used to in their home countries. For example, the concept of lifetime employment is common in Japan, where people often stay with the same company for their entire career. In addition, the emphasis on teamwork and cooperation in the workplace can be quite different from what people are used to in other countries. Dealing with hierarchy. Japan is a hierarchical society, where the older and more senior members of a group are often given more respect and authority. This can be difficult for those who are used to a more egalitarian society, and they may struggle with adjusting to this type of social structure. Adapting to different customs. Japan has a wide variety of customs and traditions, many of which may be unfamiliar to people who are visiting or living in the country. For example, taking off your shoes before entering someone's home is a common practice in Japan, and it's considered rude to wear shoes inside. Understanding and adapting to these different customs is important for making a smooth transition to life in Japan. Embracing new experiences. One of the best things about living in a new country is the opportunity to embrace new experiences and try new things. Whether it's trying new foods, visiting new places, or learning a new skill, there is always something new to discover and explore in Japan. By embracing new experiences and keeping an open mind, anyone can overcome the challenges of cultural shock and fully embrace the amazing things that Japan has to offer. Living in Japan can be a unique and challenging experience, but it can also be incredibly rewarding. By understanding and adapting to the unique cultural norms and practices, anyone can make a smooth transition to life in Japan and fully